I'm ready.
Okay, well, it's not turned on.
Yeah, it is. It's recording.
Oh, okay. Wow. Welcome back to another episode. We're going to shock and dismay you, hopefully.
Well, it's not like we're not shock jocks.
No, but we're going to shock and dismay with a nice takeaway at the end. So, I have a story to tell you. I have a situation to tell you.
I'm ready.
This was fairly recent, although it's been within the last few months. Let's put it that way.
And true.
And it's all
Always-
true.
always
As
100%
always,
true.
let's remind you, as we talk about the absurd, the profane, and the unbelievable, you're going to be saying, I can't believe it, except it is true. So I'm going to describe the incident. Amanda's going to react with her expert opinion. Then we're going to unpack it a little bit more. And then maybe we'll do a little bit of point counterpoint, because I think on this one we might not completely agree. And then we'll talk a little bit about some of the takeaways at the end. Now,
I'm always enthused about the opportunity to disagree with you publicly.
There you go.
I'm into that. So
This one does not have too much of a surprise ending. This one is like the freight train that you just see coming. And you are powerless to stop it, so you just wait for the crash. Okay, so we have a situation where we have a high school student. He's a senior. Luckily, he's 18. Because that magical age, we go from being a cute and cuddly, innocent little darling child to a full-blown, consensual, chargeable adult.
well, you know that a lot of states they do have where you can charge juveniles as adults depending on the crime.
Well, in this particular case, he's 18.
So
he's
we don't
good
have to go into that discussion.
So our student here in the throes of his senior year decides mischievously to steal the assistant principal's name plaque off of their desk. Because that's what you do. Because it's funny.
Not so bad so far.
Not so bad. However, then we move into the discussion of a helicopter parent, because mom decides that she does not want her precious angel to get in trouble or to be responsible for his particular problems, which if we think about, you might have been able to plea this one out. You know, hijinks, spring, I'm a senior, please don't get me in trouble.
Wait. He stole I'm thinking like a little sign that goes on your desk of what your name is.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And so they charged a criminal.
No, you're jumping ahead. I'm saying a reasonable person might say, a reasonable parent might say, you need to go in, own up to this, apologize, see what you can do to plead this one out. Not necessarily in the court of law, but in the court of administrative opinion.
Okay, that's why you confused me. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
We're not in the court of law quite yet. But we will be. So mom decides, as we all, would anticipate, that she is going to fix this for her darling 18-year-old angel. And so she anonymously returns the item in a package to the school. The assistant principal, who I hope has taken one of our bomb threat courses, sees an unmarked package that he knows he is not anticipating getting, that doesn't have it looks suspicious, is suspiciously wrapped. So he calls the bomb squad, and the bomb squad gets involved because we have, justifiably so, an unmarked, unusual package that comes in. Police investigate, and lo and behold, it is the anonymous package being sent from the mom to save her darling child from any sort of problems. So,
did she hand deliver it? How would?
Well, let me read you from the media account, because they did a nice job here.
Okay.
What started as a mother's inclination to protect her child turned into the evacuation of hundreds of students, closed roads, and a bomb squad called in from a neighboring town.
To be clear, I am not laughing at the person who called this suspicious package in as a bomb.
That assistant principal was on the ball.
Yeah.
He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So let's take a minute and consider the resources that were called to bear. So all of the students were evacuated. I believe classes were canceled the rest of the day. They closed everything, shut it down. Bomb squad comes in from neighboring. The department, the sheriff's department, tracks down the source of the package by working with an investigation with the U.S. Postal Service. They end up with a surveillance photo of the individual who originally mailed the package, and they discover it's the mom.
Originally mailed, so it was in the mail.
Yeah, she packages it up and mails it back to the assistant principal in the hopes that, oh, no harm, no foul, you got your name plaque back. You're never going to be concerned about who stole it.
Wait, so why, if it was a normal package in the mail, oh, because she didn't put a return address
there was
or
no
anything.
return address on it. The assistant principal knew he had not ordered anything, that there was no reason for it to come, and felt it looked suspicious. Apparently, she didn't spend a lot of money trying to dress the package up, no stickers on it or beautiful wrappings or anything like that. So
she basically, I know that you personally are very motivated by nice packaging.
Yes.
And by nice packaging, I mean reusing literally whatever scrap of paper you found around your house.
So maybe a nice Hallmark packaged, up thing we wouldn't have found ourselves here. But anyways, so the package comes. We have utter chaos. They do the investigation, track it down, end up arresting mom. And
wait, for what?
A mom is charged with conspiracy for her involvement in the suspicious package, and in the ultimate mother-daughter bonding experience, or I'm sorry, mother-son. I haven't divulged the sex until now, but mother-son. Son is charged with larceny for stealing the plaque with a value of under $1,500, and conspiracy. And so both of them end up in court together. So the object lesson, again, is probably this idea of, would we have had a better outcome if we had asked for our child to be responsible for his own actions, as opposed to mom the fixer swooping in to take care of this?
Well, yeah, obviously that. I'm curious what you think we're going to disagree on, because I'm wondering if it is. I don't know how thrilled I am with them charging her about the package. I'm not saying it was a good judgment call to send it back. I'm not saying it was a good judgment call to, try to solve stuff for your kid. But just because you send a package and you don't do a great job at it, that's very different than purposefully inciting panic, or purposefully calling in a bomb threat, or purposefully sending in a package, with powder in it on purpose as a joke. I mean, those are very different things. I mean, her poor judgment was not a safety bomb poor judgment. Her poor judgment was helicopter parenting this kid.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I guess I'm looking at it from the administrative perspective of, the assistant principal did everything right. And I guess if we want to take the other side of that coin, technically mom didn't do everything right in my estimation as what a parent should do, but mom didn't necessarily do everything wrong, because there is no crime to send. If it was an anonymous box of, lovely Buckeye candies, probably, although if they would have still called the bomb squad, I guess they couldn't have eaten the Buckeyes anyways.
They would have been blown up Buckeyes. You would have had Buckeye dust. Wait, so I have a question. What was she charged with? The conspiracy, but then what was the other one?
She was charged with conspiracy for her involvement in the suspicious package.
Oh,
and
okay.
The son got the twofer of
the larceny and the
stealing it to begin with, and then conspiring to send it back.
Okay, so she was just charged with conspiracy, but not with inciting panic, or not with anything. Okay, well that's a little bit more.
But I guess here's the question that we raise. That we, in the research that we do, and when we're talking about bomb threats, we hear that a lot of, well, it's just a bomb threat. But when you take into account, in this particular case, the disruption of the educational process, the amount of money that was spent, resources in pulling together this full-scale evacuation, bomb squad, detonation of the suspicious package.
They detonated it?
Yes. Suspicion of so the nameplate is blown to Kingdom Come.
Oh, R.I.P. nameplate. Oh,
and
man.
So, you have this evacuation, the dismissal, the detonation, the disruption, all the parents cranked up. From a school perspective, it's terrible PR. And the school is sort of back in this sort of damned if you do, damned if you don't situation where we're overreacting and this poor woman is trying to be a good mom and you're overreacting, versus parents losing their mind because their kids have been evacuated and the bomb squad is at my kid's school detonating a package.
Right, but,
so you have to assume that there is somebody has to be held accountable for what happened.
But that's a judgment call. So I have a package and I feel weird about it. We would unequivocally recommend call police. If you have a package and you're concerned about the package, it's not your job to pass a judgment call of whether this is a suspicious package or not.
Absolutely.
But everyone's mad, right? Because you had all of this problem. This person's mad. The parents, everybody's mad because it turns out it was nothing.
Well, we don't know that, but we can probably make that assumption, yes.
But say the inverse had happened. Say there was a package and he was like, I don't know, I didn't suspect anything. I wasn't expecting a package, but I guess it's probably nothing. And they leave the package and it explodes. Everybody's going to be pretty mad then too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is literally a no-win situation.
Because the question is, who's accountable for this? Or is no one accountable? Is this just like, it's an act of nature, like if a storm blew the windows in, nobody's really accountable for that? Well, we can't say that because someone set this chain of events into motion.
Well, legally accountable versus accountable in the court of public opinion. I would say in public opinion, the mom's accountable.
Of course, and the unfortunate part is son is 18, mom is 18. Their names are in every single media account. So they may be getting their punishment prior to going to court in terms of people not overly thrilled about this.
And depending on the size of the city or town where this happened, I bet people know. I bet you news traveled fast.
This one was not in Ohio, by the way, just to make sure we're clear. This one was an East Coast school. So, we're an equal opportunity. We make sure that we're covering the entire United States. Well, and
I don't think we're making fun of I don't think we're coming down hard on the administration at all here.
No,
I can't really find any fault in what they've done.
But I think we also have to acknowledge that in this unique set of circumstances, where you have a kid who is literally weeks away from graduating. In this particular case, it was less than 2 weeks away from graduating from high school. Mom finds this and goes, I can't believe you did this, you idiot. What are you doing? And is faced with this dilemma of, can we sweep this under the rug? Mm-hmm. Or in this case, pack it in a strange anonymous box. Can we sweep this under the rug and hopefully lesson learned, nobody's the wiser, everything's cool.
Yeah.
And it literally blows up in her face. Another good pun. Blows up in her face. So I mean, we have to think about it as a parent, and I guess that's where I'm saying, that we've looked at the administrative perspective, we've looked at the law enforcement perspective, but I think we have to take just a minute to think from a parent perspective. What parent has not thought of, it would be so much easier to just fix this problem myself than to allow the chain of logical consequences to go on. Now, the only thing that you don't know, since we got to spring the little surprise, and it's a very small, minor twist surprise, is prior in the school year, the student had been busted for possession of a weapon, which was a pocket knife. So now that opens up the can of worms of he's already on the hook.
Right.
Mom may already be feeling like he was unjustly busted because it was just a pocket knife. So that adds a little bit of nuance to her motivation and his.
But when the principal saw the suspicious package and called bomb squad, there was no connection between the student with the pocket knife at that point, right?
No, no one knew.
They didn't know who it was.
They didn't know who it was. Yeah. They didn't know anything about it. Well, so if either she had been a better rapper, or not rapping, but like wrapping packages, and if the assistant principal had been less suspicious, which we're glad he is, but had been less suspicious, no one would have been the wiser, and her son would have escaped the consequences of this act.
That's a good one. That's not quite as jaw-dropping as some of the other ones, but that's a good one.
But I think this one elicits a little bit of empathy on the part of everyone.
Oh, sure.
I feel for that principal. He probably didn't want to have to bust this kid and charge him either, but now he's kind of painted in a corner when you got kids everywhere, bomb squads blowing up the package, cops are all over the place.
And he's
in a corner too.
And we've read some way worse behavior from parents too. So, you do kind of see that.
Okay, but now let me be the devil's advocate on that. This is the behavior from the parent that we read about in the paper. We don't know what other behavior from this particular parent has been happening. And I think the educators among us will be going, yeah. Typically, a parent that is doing nutty things, one time has been doing nutty things consistently.
Well, I don't know how nutty that is to just return the thing. And if they're charged with conspiracy, there must be some fact that they both were conspiring to send it back. So just because they have the surveillance photo of her dropping it off at the post office, maybe it was wrapped poorly by an 18-year-old boy who was like slapped some newspaper on it and she dropped it off at the postal service.
Well, or you have one of those things where, hey, Mom, when you're done packing my lunch, drop this package off at the post office for me. Right. I mean, maybe when the kid goes off to college, they want to change some of these behaviors.
So when is a good time for me to talk about the senior prank that I pulled but didn't get in trouble for? Is that this? That would be now.
Not this episode.
Not this episode.
So there we have it for today. A little bit of empathy, a little bit of multiple perspectives. I guess the takeaway is when you see a suspicious package, do exactly what this gentleman did. Yep. Mm-hmm. Takeaway as a parent, don't give in to that impulse every time to fix it for your kids.
Yeah.
And was there some way that we could have had a more amenable solution with like coming in, confessing? I don't know. And maybe the assistant principal was, so difficult that she felt he was unable to work with. I mean, we're not in any of these folks' shoes. But I think the takeaway is be careful because not everything turns out the way you think it's gonna.
Well, that was a good one. Well, as always, thanks for joining us. Please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. We're available anywhere where you get your podcasts: iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, so on and so forth. You also can find us on YouTube, our YouTube channel, and you can interact with us on social media. We're on Facebook at eSchool Safety. All this information is in the details for this episode and in our bio. And if you have something that you want us to cover, if you have a news story, anything that's true that you want us to cover and talk about, please send that to us. You can send it to us, info@eschoolsafety.org.
And more importantly, if you want to know about the real threats in bomb threats and the real problems with bomb threats that aren't funny, check out our bomb threat report, as well as our resources and information about bomb threats at our website.
Thanks. Oh, that's pretty. I mean, that's really quiet. That's not bad.
What?
Look, if this is nothing.
Sure.
I think that's fine. I don't.
Okay, where's
you need to not do that creaky chair.
Hand me my thing so I know the what? Open that up, and inside is the paper that shows the format for this, so we know.
Oh, it's on a paper.
What order we do it in.
Good.